Yo, shout out Silverfade Media. One time for the one time, bro. Hello, welcome one and all to another episode of The Angry Barista, the angriest barista on this side of the piercing and tattoo shop. Joining me today is a Mr. George.
That's me.
Mr. George is out here. This is the first time we're like officially meeting, but I swear to God, we've probably been around each other the past like 10 years.
We've been in the same room and breathed the same air a couple times.
Yeah.
I just don't know why we haven't like introduced ourselves.
Yeah, it's strange. It's strange to walk in the same circles almost your entire life and then not bump into somebody who's been in those circles the entire time. But hey, bro, we out here now. We doing some fire shit. He showed me a little bit of he showed me a little bit of his lo-fi shit, some of that new.
Yeah.
I got the leaks early, as one would say.
Oh yeah, I mean he was bobbing his head. It was a good vibe, so I was really excited about it. It drops in about. We're looking at what? What's today? Today is the 17th, so 7 more days, a week.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
I'm really excited about that.
This is the longest I've broken the fourth wall on the Angry Barista ever, pretty much.
Nice.
Yeah, but I mean, we gotta do it. We gotta get our plugs in right now. We gotta get our plugs in at the beginning. But anyways, let's go introspective a little bit, bro.
Let's do it.
The way that I run this campaign, the way that I run this show on the road is just like a conversation. You know what I mean? We just do our thing over the course of whatever. So let's do this getting to know each other process a little bit better. I know we started before the camera started rolling, but let's get this process started, bro. When did you start exactly making lo-fi music?
Ooh, okay. So I was in a melodic hardcore outfit for a while called Passage, and it was really, really fun. I had a lot of good times, but I found myself really kind of like having this confliction of like working with other people. Not that I can't work with other people.
Yeah.
It's just I like to brood and like to sit with ideas, and it was really hard to kind of figure out what that meant. I went to work. I was just kind of just figuring out what worked, and eventually I fell into lo-fi. I was listening to I think it was like Japanese trap music.
Yeah.
And like that's why I fell into it. But like in specific, it was like Nunjabis. It was like I fell into like lo-fi artists like Evie and stuff like that. And that's what really kind of like interested me in it. And afterwards I went away at fucking GarageBand, and then here we are. It was just kind of like a why not? And it came out really cool. I love it.
Let's go fucking lo-fi. Oh, you want me to speak closer?
Should we speak louder?
Speak up.
Okay.
Hey. Okay. All right.
Okay, I can do that.
I'm
I'm from the Bronx. We can do that.
we
cool.
just got to talk with our chest now, I guess is the thing.
Cool.
Talk with the chest.
I can do that.
Yeah. So listen. You mentioned GarageBand in there.
Yeah.
All right. So I've had my experience now and again with GarageBand. I got it on my phone. At one point we couldn't get it on our phones. Fucking. I feel like an old fuck. Like the first time I ever used fucking GarageBand was on an iPad that didn't even have like 64 gigabytes of storage.
Oh my god, what
bro.
was
like,
it? Was it 32? Was it less than that probably?
Yo, I don't even know how much was on there, but I was running out of space.
Oh my god.
I was running out of space.
I think the first time I ever saw GarageBand was actually in Best Buy. Like I was like looking at the little computers, and I remember noticing like GarageBand. I'm like, ooh, this looks like cool, and I just didn't know what it was. I didn't understand what a DAW was. And I was like, all right, never mind. And that was the first and last time I saw it until like my adult life, where I had it on my iPhone. I was like, let's try this again.
Yeah, yo, I'm trying to learn how to use. You know what's funny as fuck? That's where I started my audio engineering journey is in GarageBand, and I went away from it because I started I started learning professionally in Pro Tools.
Pro Tools. See, that's I think for me, like I was doing GarageBand for a while out of like necessity.
Right.
Like that's all I had, right?
Yeah.
And then I got really lucky during I guess it's kind of weird, but during like the pandemic, during like our quarantine rather, I won a contest with Postmates.
Ooh.
And they were like ask for one thing, and I was like, yo, a license to FL Studio. And then they showed up to my door. Yo, here's your fucking license. I still have it. And Postmates made my second beat tape possible, dog.
Yo.
So that's why I learned FL Studio, like watching YouTube videos and just kind of just like really just figuring out what it meant. Cause like I went from like using my hands to like drag and drop and like make these songs to like using now like my laptop and now being able to connect external like devices. Like it opened up this whole new world that I wasn't aware of. Cause like with like lo-fi hip hop, which if you really want to be honest, like I'm gonna just pay homage to like the Asian creators and the black creators of this genre. It's fucking boom bap hip hop. Okay, like that's where this shit started from. So I just want to make sure we pay that fucking respects to that shit real quick. But with that genre, I felt constricted because I was like, yo, do I gotta like work with the bare minimum? Do I have to just use my fingers? Do I have to kind of set things off on purpose? And it was like kind of like a weird vibe. But when I got FL Studio, I realized I like, nah, bro, this is just more resources to make the music you want to actually make. You know, it was like you restrict yourselves, honestly, sometimes. You know, it's weird.
Yeah, I'm in that boat. I'm in that boat. I relate exactly to what you just said right now about restricting yourself because I feel that way about video editing. So tell me a little bit, speaking of visual arts, tell me a little bit about how you got started with body piercing and body modification and stuff like that.
Fun story.
Either you could start with like your first piercing if you want, or you could start with like what got you into like wanting to do it.
Yeah, dog. Yeah. So for piercing, I really fell into that. That was probably the biggest like fuck it moment I've ever took in my entire life, and it's the best one I've ever took. I got my ears pierced. I'd say I was like maybe 20, maybe 20, 21, maybe 19, around there.
Damn.
But I was late to the game because I went to a Catholic high school. I went to All Hallows.
Oh,
so I was,
shit.
you know, prim and proper. I went to a business high school. That's all. Yeah, bro. But like, you know, everyone there actually was all like rebels on the inside. We were just put there because we didn't want our parents like didn't want us to get in trouble and shit.
Oh yeah.
But
I heard Catholic schools be getting it popping.
It gets so popping in there, dog. Like it's crazy. Like I know like public schools get it popping, but the shit that I saw in Catholic high schools is wild, dog.
Yo, the same thing with like performing arts high schools. They be getting it popping.
They got all that fucking energy, dog. All that creative energy. Just put that shit into their problems and their drama. It's really fun to watch though from far away.
Yeah, when I was in high school, like I went to a vocational school, so we really didn't get it popping like that.
Sure.
Fucking so like I would see all y'all at Catholic schools, at performing arts schools, and it's like everybody's partying on the weekends, and I'm like, damn, I gotta learn how to wire this wire from a fucking plane wing now.
Yeah, like you're like up there like doing electronics, and we're down there like partying with the electronics that you made for us. Like, yeah, honestly, it fucking. I've seen y'all. I feel your pain. I've been there. I've seen y'all.
Yo, so coming out of like an age where you were like so restricted, being like in that Catholic high school, and I can't have that. I can't relate exactly to that experience, but.
Yeah.
How do you think that had you coming into the world of piercing and body modification? Like, do you think that gave you like starting slow and getting started at a later age? Was that better for you?
First of all, that's a really good fucking question. I like that question because I've never thought about that. I definitely think that it has a huge impact because for the longest time I was told you can't get a piercing, you can't do this, you can't get a tattoo. And then eventually when I fell into doing piercings, it kind of like filled a hole like in my like my heart. I was kind of like, if I can't get it, I'll just give it instead. I'll do it. And I felt like that was a huge motivation and why like when I was asked a question, which by the way, let me just get back on topic. I got to where we got to, right? I was getting tattooed. I was getting this guy tattooed on me. My artist at the time was like, dude, what do you do? At the time I was in Passage, like I was mentioning before. And I was like, nothing. I'm a starving artist. I'm trying to figure shit out. And he was like, yo, like, are you into piercings? I knew a lot about them. They didn't know shit. They didn't know how to get in. I felt like this was my only way in. I was like, fuck it. I don't have a job, dog. Yeah, I don't know anything. Let's do it. I want to do it. Cool. Come back in a week. Came back in a week. Pressured them. They gave me an apprenticeship. I worked for a year straight. No pay. Learned the whole craft inside and out. I learned how to manage a shop. I dealt with hazing, all that shit. For a full year of no pay. And then my first day, when I first worked, I still remember how much I made. It was a cool $300 for 4 hours of work.
God damn.
That was when I was working in the Bronx, and I was like, oh, okay, this is money I can use to like help pay bills and like do it. So that's all I thought about was like just like doing that. But like once I realized that I can actually give people great piercings and actually give people good work, the money thing was like kind of came and went. I was like, oh, I'm making so much money. I forgot about it. But now I'm like, when people come in like, oh, I want to get ear piercing, but I don't know what. I'm like, sick. You're going to allow me to give you the coolest shit ever. absolutely, let me do that for you. Because like now, like if you can see, like I only have my ear stretched. I only have a couple ear piercings because like I feel like I have been conditioned to just not get piercings, and I don't have I have mostly tattoos, but no piercings. But I feel very inclined to want to give people piercings, and I like that it's my job. So yeah, thank you for asking me that question. That was a very fucking insightful question. I didn't even
Yeah.
think about that.
Because the answer, the
Whoa.
way that you answered that question indicates to me that you care more about piercing as an art rather than just a job and
Oh
something
my
that you can
god,
make the
yeah,
bag off
dude,
of.
absolutely.
You know,
Like I would. I hope my bosses don't watch this, but I would fucking do this job for free. I honestly, I would. But please, I would. I want to make money.
yeah, no, you just like because anybody
It's a
who
great job. It's just one of those. It's everyone has a particular thing that they like to do, right? Everyone has a hobby that they like to do.
Mhm.
And sometimes we make them into these hobbies that we can kind of have these small pockets of happiness. Sometimes people make it into their careers. And there's a small amount of people who kind of make this like their vocation, their meaning, their purpose. And like I like to feel like when you get to that point, that's where the happiness is at. That's where you feel like I have filled up my meter of happiness. Now it's overfilling. Now with this, I can give it. Like I didn't get a lot of piercing, so I was okay. My cup was very small to fill. I got a septum piercing and I was pretty stoked. You know what I'm saying? Now that the cup is overfloweth, all I'm thinking about is like, oh my god, how can I make you happy? How can I do this for you? How can I do that for you? And I feel like once you get to that point with whatever thing that you like to do, whether it be hobby or your career, it's like you made it. That's success. To me, that's the fucking cheese
can
pot.
fuck with
You know what I'm saying?
I could fuck with that. Yo, we have a visitor.
Oh
I'm just gonna go ahead
shit,
and
I think I
acknowledge
know
it
that
right
guy.
here. Off camera, we have the arrival of Naveed Ahmed.
Naveed. Hey yo.
Hey yo. So damn, that's sick, bro. Hey yo, we're gonna give. Please keep that in, cause that shit is gonna be cute as fuck.
I love that. I love that.
Fucking. So I'm glad that you answered that question that way, because I am thinking to myself, right?
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking about getting another piercing, some type of ear piercing.
Cool.
So we might have to talk.
Sick.
Shit.
Yeah, let me know, dude. Like, be awesome. I'm already looking at your ear. We're gonna do some fun stuff. Don't worry about it.
We're gonna fuck around. Yo, I'm hyped though. I'm hyped though to hear your project when it drops, because I did hear a lot of it before we started recording.
Yeah.
I'm hyped for you to do more shit with Omar. Shout out Omar, the Hungry
Yo,
Ghost.
shout out Ghost Burner for real.
Ghost Burner.
Ghost Burner. I just want to say real quick, just for a quick second, that has been the same motherfucker. I'll send him a track. He gets it back to me the same day. I appreciate that energy, and that is the energy that everyone needs to be on 100% of the time. That shit is. Love it. I love it.
I hope everybody listening to this, you included, everybody in the room, like I hope everybody realizes in 20 when it's the 20-year anniversary of when our band was broken up, I'm dropping everything in my life, quitting all my jobs, and I'm going to Omar's door and I'm being like, yo, it's time for The Last of Us again.
Oh shit.
It's time to go, bro. It's time to go. Honestly, we're gonna have to hit up Naveed for bass. George is gonna have to come through, and we're gonna do live everything, live production. We're gonna incorporate lo-fi somehow. I know what the fuck we're gonna do.
Listen, I'll make it quick. When it comes to lo-fi, low fidelity, all you gotta do is just make it crunchy, make it bitey. I think personally, people, not you, but people in general, like this is lo-fi hip hop, and this is what it's supposed to be. But like, no one really knows what actually makes it, and it really is just keeping it kind of toned down. We're not trying to hi-fi shit. So how like when we heard my stuff, like it sounded really good. It filled the room, but it kind of had this sense of like, this sounds old.
Yeah,
and like that's what we want. We want to make it sound old, but like you also want to like, what's the word I'm looking for? It escapes me, but like it's the act of just kind of being just free form, just doing whatever the fuck you want. That's what makes it fucking beautiful. That's the lo-fi part.
Some people make a beat and then put it through an amp or like put like distortion on it, and they're like, yo, it's lo-fi, but then like they totally kill like the dynamics and shit in it. What I like about your music when I listen to it is it still has like a sense of dynamics. Like there's still like, you can hear quiet parts. There are parts that are quiet intentionally,
right?
And then there are parts when everything stacks,
right?
Where you could really hear everything. Like,
yeah.
It's so I'm a fan of stuff like that. That's like a little bit more like natural. That be flowing a little bit more natural.
Right,
like
right.
that hits a little bit more like that. I mean, I showed you a song with Naveed on it before we.
That shit was heat, dog. Heat.
We're just talking
Heat.
about things that people. We're talking about things that people don't know and won't be able to hear for some time. But your project's coming out in 2 days. So
7.
7 days.
I wish it was 2, but
Bro.
7. The 24th of September is when it's dropping.
I thought today was the 24th and tomorrow was the 25th, dog. I'm so behind
Bro.
ahead in my
time
schedule.
is a concept. That's all it is. Time's
You're
a
right.
concept. It's
You're
fine.
right.
It's fine. Just that's how I roll with it. Whenever I'm late, I'm like, oh no, bro, time's a concept. I didn't
Yo,
know.
I'm out here in these streets wilding, as they say. I'm out here in these streets wilding. My dude George. So what's the idea behind this project that you're putting out right now? Like, I know you said that some of the songs on them are a little bit older.
Right.
Some of them are like some of them are as new as like
a couple days ago type
Oh,
thing.
shit.
You know what I'm saying? Like, well, I mean, technically I couldn't do that, but a couple months. You know, some of them are like as early as like I posted it on TikTok.
Mhm.
Whoa, you guys liked it? Okay, it's a track. You know what I'm saying? Like some, like I think like 1 or 2 of them were like that, but the rest of them were like tracks that I've sat on for a while, and some of them were like stuff I've made intentionally for the album to kind of like help kind of push this directive. Like the whole point of my titles and my numbering is that they're trying to tell a story. The first album by request it was asked. Someone asked me to make an album, so I was like, okay, cool. It was by request. Did you ask me to make this beat tape? It worked really well. I felt like I could have worked harder on it. So my second one was, can I try that again? Which was a repeat, or more or less me kind of like, can I do that again? Can I like give y'all another go? And then this one, Change of Perspectives, is going to be really me sinking into the sound that I've been trying to establish. And I think it's going to quite literally change your perspective of how lo-fi hip-hop has been going. We have the very simple, like, chill hip-hop, like jazz, coffee, coffee lo-fi, right? But, like, I'm trying to go for something that's a little more spookier. Like, I'm trying to go for something that's a little more different. And, like, I always tell people, like, I'm a Santa Muerte devotee. And this is something that I feel is very important. And I made sure I made my music kind of, like, have, like, that witchy kind of, like, spooky vibe. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, like, all this stuff is, like, I want my listeners to know what I'm about. But I also want people who also is part of the same shit to be like, oh, this guy is making music for us, or this guy is making music and like we like the same things. It's a way for me to kind of really like allow my creativity and allow my personal beliefs to kind of flourish, because like you were listening before, remember I had made that comment, I'm like, this sounds like we're in a funeral, like there was a reason for it.
Yeah, that's fire. I like that you're incorporating a little bit of your sazon in there. You know what I mean? You're throwing your fucking shit
flavor
in there.
Hell yeah, of course.
What is the so explain to me, because like, and I mean this not in an ignorant kind of way at all, but like, because I'm an esoteric type of spiritualist, so like I be hitting like the things that I relate most to are like it's science obviously, but like also like I believe in that realm of like I do believe in higher beings.
Bro,
and shit.
I'm on that same boat.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
I feel you.
I believe there's probably a God, but like not as to like any of the major religions. Like nobody's gotten like what
we don't know exactly
it actually is.
Right.
Yeah.
I definitely think that that's like pretty fucking healthy to think. I think it's like I want to be able to be like, yeah, like I believe in this thing, but like science also says that if I jump off a building, I'm gonna die. So I'm not gonna try that. You know what I'm saying?
But I mean, like, I believe in some wild shit though. Like, it goes pretty. So, in my segue is that like, can you explain to me, probably like in your own words, or like how like maybe just anybody would get it? Because like what is Santa Muerte?
Oh,
like,
La Santa Muerte. So it quite literally means the holy death. I am in quite essence a death worshiper.
Okay.
So the idea is not so much that like we should be afraid of death, but it's something that comes from everyone, whether you be rich, whether you be poor, whatever skin color you are, whatever religion you believe in, it happens to everyone. Her goal is to protect us here and bring us towards our afterlife. What the afterlife may be, you don't know.
Yeah.
But the point is,
I got some theories.
Yeah. Word, exactly.
I got some theories.
Bro, I have some theories too, man. We can go into this shit.
We'll hit the theories after your explanation.
Hell yeah. But honestly, basically, holy death is just the idea of that you believe that death happens to everyone. So instead of fearing it, we welcome it. We live our lives to the fullest extent. We enjoy ourselves. Like, I have an altar in my home, bunch of statues of her, just full of like things that I think she would like. She is a party animal, so she loves alcohol. I get her fucking tequila bottles. I've gotten her like some weed, shit like that. But like
Mm.
in return, she protects me. But also, once it's time to go, once it's time to leave, to die, she takes me with her, and that's kind of like our little deal. But it's a very chill, very relaxed religion. A lot of Catholics don't like it because we more or less borrow like Catholic imagery,
Mhm.
but we believe mostly that death is something that shouldn't be we
Yeah.
shouldn't be afraid of. It's just
Yeah.
something that just happens. You know, it's unfortunate,
Yeah.
but it happens to everyone. And I think that as a community or even just as people, if we learn to welcome death like more like our ancestors have, where they were kind of more respectful and having these big rituals, we would understand that like our life has much more meaning that way. If we fear things, then like what happens is you run away. You're gonna try to run away from death. What do? You put your attention to things that don't necessarily matter to you.
Yeah.
But when your life is not so much on a timeline, but when you know what's gonna happen, you're like, all right, cool. All right, I have 2 hours until the party's over. Let me have fun. Like,
Mm.
let's have a good time.
Mm.
And that's how I see it. My life is about having a good time. Like I have, I wear like whatever I can afford. That's nice. I have a good time. I make music. I have a great. I try to make good music. I try to have a good time with my friends. Because at the end of the day, like I don't know when I'm gonna go. So I want to make sure that when I look back, I'm like, cool. I had a good time. I had fun. So in short, La Santa Muerte is making sure you have a great time during life. So when it's time to go, you look back and go, yeah, I had a good time.
Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, like honestly, that my mom would be some like one of those like quintessential people that you described as like, oh my god, like what is this? Like
of course,
because like I see Christians or like very devoted religious people of any denomination looking at something like La Santa Muerte and like thinking that they're gonna draw lines between that and
Right.
Satanism or like something
Oh
evil
yeah,
or
that's
whatever. You
so
know what I mean?
common. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but like also similarly, like in any kind of esoteric belief, whether it's like the gods of the Greek gods, back in the day, the pagan gods of the fucking Vikings, like you know what I mean? Like every religion now or every like devoted religious person nowadays looks at stuff like that and instantaneously they're like, this is evil.
This is evil, right? Like
This
you
is
got
bad.
you got like people like Hades, right? Like in Greek
Yeah.
mythology, he is the god of the underworld, right?
Yeah.
If you really read into like mythology, he don't really do no bad shit. He kind of just minds his business. He just stays down where he's supposed to be doing because at the end of the day, he is just residing over the lost souls,
Yeah.
right?
That's
So
his job.
that's his job, right?
his
Then that's
job.
the point. It's just their job. It's just her job to just take you when it's time to go. She got
Yeah.
no beef with you. You know, at the
Yeah.
end of the day, like when it's Jeff Bezos' time to go, she gonna be like, "Yo, let's go." You know
Let's
what I'm saying?
go.
It don't matter. It comes
so-
for everyone.
So do you believe in her as an actual figure that you will actually go with when you pass?
Yeah, I think like if you want to be if I want to be more specific,
Yeah.
she's like a personification of death for me. So it's like this is what death looks like. You know, she's a skeleton.
Yeah.
She wears a cool little robe. She has her scythe, which pays homage to the Grim Reaper. You know, she has the owl, which represents wisdom, and then the scales, which has to represent balance. You know, and the reason why a lot of people kind of fear her is because a lot of like she has like some followers who are not that great people, like cartel people and shit like that, and like that kind of gets kind of convoluted and concentrated when it comes to conversations of like, what's the benevolence of this god and why does the bad people believe in them? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it definitely it's just I don't know. It's a very like squishy question because it's like
Yeah.
there's so many sides you can attack it from. But like I'm the side where I'm like, this is not a bad thing. I think that being able to welcome death and understanding that this is our cycle of life helps us to get our attention put on something else. Like, all right, well, and I know that death is here. Well, I can worry about something else. Let me go worry about my music, or let me go worry about my I don't know, my fucking hobby of making coffee. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Barista. You know.
Shout out Angry Barista. Shout out
Angry
myself.
fucking Barista, dog.
Shout
What's
out.
goody?
What's
We
goody?
out here.
Damn. We outside.
We inside actually
Well,
because
yeah,
it's
we inside,
raining
yeah.
and I don't want to get wet.
Damn. Shout out everybody I was supposed to see today, and then everybody I ended up seeing, and us right now. Shout out us, bro.
Word, shout out to us, yo.
Cheers.
Cheers. Think. Yo, I like this guy. Where we find this guy? I like him.
We got me out back.
Well, dude, well, you must be one of a kind because we only found one of you.
Hey, one of a kind, but
What?
my name Jan is second.
Woo!
Grrr.
Jan so nice he #1 twice. What is he talk about?
Oh shit! Oh shit! Yo, we might have. Oh, the China tour.
Oh damn.
I heard something off camera about a China tour.
Oh
What's
shit!
going
All right, so
on?
this is my longest dopamine trip that I've been riding for the last 8 years. So I'll love to tell the story once
Let's
more.
fucking
All right.
go.
So I've only been on one tour my entire life, and my one tour was with Passage. We toured China. We were invited to China to play our first and only tour.
Let's go.
It was fucking sick, dude. So the music out there is insane. Like the way they treat music is so crazy. Like it's like first and foremost, when I went there, it was like I'm gonna say like 8 years ago. It was something like hardcore was like not even like 15 years old over there. So people were still really into like New York hardcore bands like Madball, like they were like into shit like that, like fucking like Tough Guard Hardcore, Terror, Camel Pants, all that shit. That's all we saw over
and
there.
the scene was still lively because it was just
It
coming,
was
right?
lively
like,
and like it was insane. People were just so happy to be there. But like it also did this thing where China saw it as like music was music first. The venue was a music venue first, bar second, rather than the other way around. So people don't have to pay guarantees. You came here to see music. You didn't come here to drink. The drink was a bonus. You know what I'm saying? That's how they treat it. So every show I went to, I was kind of like, oh shit, fuck, we're in a bar. Oh my god, we had a guarantee, right? And they're like, no, like it just happens to have a bar here. You're here to play music.
Oh
So
shit!
it was fucking cool. Yeah.
Damn, that makes me feel confused. Keep telling the story.
Yeah. So it was like, okay, like my first show I remember was in Beijing, right? And it was in this place called The School. And I was like, all right, cool. I walked in and it's like some fucking like crust punk like esque type like venue. It looks so fucking hood. I was like in love with it. We were like in the hood of Beijing, like doing this shit, right? So it was in the middle of a hutong, which if you're not up on the up, hutong is like an alleyway, right? In I would say like feudal China, that these alleyways where like the old like the people who were not in the Forbidden City, which where the emperor would live. They were put in these alleyways, poor people would live there. So they would call them hutongs. Hutongs, yeah. So it was like in the middle of a hutong, and I went in there, and like, I swear to you, I walked in, it was just kind of like, pretty venue for what it is. There was just like one refrigerator of like alcohol, and that's it. And a person standing in front of it, like, with a towel over his shoulder, letting me know he's a bartender, and that's about it. But the rest of it was just stage and food and people hanging out and merch. It was so fucking jarring to see that because I was so used to being here where cash is king. If you're not bringing in me fucking pre-sales or not bringing me people who's going to drink, like, I don't care about your music. Like,
fuck a pre-sale.
That shit, fuck
always.
that shit.
Fuck a pre-sale always.
And the craziest shit, too, is that hardcore's so new that old people aren't sure if they dislike it yet. So they come to shows, too. So we have teenagers there. We have young adults, and then we have like middle-aged men who are just like enjoying a beer, listening to hardcore songs. Doesn't know what it is, but he likes it because it's really fun. Like it's so crazy out there. Music is really like the arts. I think is really well respected out there. But like there was some things we had to be mindful of, like our lyrics. Like we couldn't talk bad of the government. We weren't talking about the Chinese government.
I was gonna ask you about this. I was gonna wait for you to finish, but no, continue. I have more questions.
So we couldn't talk bad about the government, and like even though it was our government, it was still like it could be perceived as their government. So we had to change a bunch of our lyrics to be more religious based, which we had our songs already about that. And then we had this one song called "Minimize Disease," which was about this basically nuclear reactor, I think it exploded in Japan and has leaked over. And that's what
the Fukushima accident?
Right. Oh,
yeah.
So you, my man, thank
you.
you. So you know what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
So we did a song about that. And I remember someone came up to us, was like, yo, like, you can play that song. That song is okay. This song, this lyric needs to be changed. This needs to be changed. This needs to be changed. And I was like, oh, okay. So
did you guys have somebody from the Chinese government with you while you were there?
No, we was dolly. We was wildin' out. Like I'm talking about, like my vocalist is Chinese. Yeah. Yo, shout out Osito, shout out Harrison.
Shout out.
And he was like the main forerunner. He made sure everything was cool because he was from China. He went back, and that's how he was able to kind of get us his tour.
Oh.
But had it not been him, we would have been iced, dog. Like I'm telling you, like the first night we were there. Like, we didn't even make it to our hostel. We had to sleep on the streets of Beijing for the first time. Like, the first night, I was sleeping on fucking concrete, dog. Concrete. Don't be a rock star. It's fucking hard. Fucking. Oh, pun intended. Yeah, 'cause I slept on concrete.
Pun
Really good.
intended. Ding ding
Ding,
ding. Yo.
Yeah, that I fucking slept on the ground. It was like, I was cool. I was like, whatever. I was like so high off the fact I was in China. I was like, oh my god, I'm sleeping on the ground. It's cool.
Damn.
You know, it was fine. But
That's wild. Yo, I mean, I believe that, like, even though y'all were dolly, like, they could have, like, China's government, just like our government, is the type, like, if you're coming in, they might send somebody to, like, low-key follow you around and just make sure that you're not doing anything.
that's great you said that.
Crazy.
Because I had to sign paperwork that told them exactly what cities I was hitting and what time and then when I was leaving. And then I had to send them a bunch of other information.
They
so
had
they
somebody watching
they
you, bro. They
knew
had somebody
where
watching
I was
you.
at all times. I'm pretty sure.
They probably
Pretty
had
sure.
eyes on you. Like, they probably had, the ops was in the streets, bro.
Oh, dog.
I think the ops was in the streets.
It's crazy because it didn't feel like that. Because, like, people also knew my band. Like, they would be like, oh shit, Passage. And I'm like, me? Like, we're just some crusty kids from the fucking city making music, and y'all invited us out here, so we're just trying to be like guests. You know what I'm
But
saying?
we're crusty kids from New York City.
That's why they liked us so much. They were like, ooh, New York crust? We haven't had that yet.
Yo, it's like New York pizza. Most of the rest of the country still hasn't even had that
That's
yet.
true. I mean,
Yeah.
we are known for our pizza. So I guess it works the same thing for our crust, right?
Yeah,
I
New York,
figured.
bro, tying it together, the crust. What's the craziest thing that happened to you in China besides sleeping in the street? Are we?
That is interesting.
Are
I
we
mean, there was
drifting into
we-
dangerous territory?
maybe no.
Okay, alright.
Okay, so I've never told everyone this one, but this is gonna be fun because this is really. I've told like a couple people. So there is this drug.
Oh my God, I love it when a story starts with there's a drug.
There is this drug called betel nut, right?
Betel nut.
Betel
Hey,
nut,
yo.
right?
Hey,
So
yo.
it's this nut like about this big or so. Yo, y'all I'ma just say, yo, if I gotta hit the pause, yo, just edit pause on the bottom of my shit for this whole conversation, dog. 'Cause y'all
Yo,
killing me.
Put subtitles just under this part, and it's just like pause.
Like
So it's a nut.
y'all killing me. Nah, so it's a betel nut, right? What's up? Why do we got what? Oh, so cuz for the nut.
Yeah, this is for the
It's
nut.
for- It's for the nut. Sorry.
No, this
is what the segue was.
Yeah.
We're just trying to remember.
yeah. So essentially, this is here because we be getting emotional sometimes. But anyways,
I be getting emotional.
this is the most sensitive podcast on the internet.
Sick. So
Bro, so tell me about this betel nut.
So okay, I'll rewind it a little further because I'm gonna give you some a heads up just so you guys know what it was. Betel nut,
All right.
So just keep that name in your head.
Okay.
So I'm going in and I'm hanging out with this other band. With this band called It Never Happened, which straight up they're called It Never Happened. It's a pretty cool name. I love it.
I love it.
They were like, "Yo, we got these things. You want to try it? It's natural. It's like a thing you can chew." So I'm like, "Cool." Like I'm thinking like what, like a limoncillo, like you know what I'm saying, like a canepa, like whatever, some shit like that, right?
Now some shit that's gonna make you high.
Bro, so I got this thing. It's about this big, right?
Mm-hmm.
I started chewing on it, and I got high.
Instantaneously.
I was getting like I was biting it, and like basically like I was really like hyper. I was talking a lot. Like I was just kind of like just chewing. I was spitting because you're supposed to spit, which is another thing. It's fucking
yo.
gross. Yeah, right. You're biting a nut. You're spitting.
Question mark.
Quitters. Anyways, so we're chewing on this shit, right? And then eventually I'm getting so fucking hyper. Things are getting so sharp. Like I see color, I see sound. I'm like bugging. And then after that, we go into a car, and in the car, I felt the car was going like 1,000,000 miles a second. Eventually, I cooled down. I spit the shit out, and I was like, "Cool, that was really cool. That was really nice." And then I was like, "I want another." You know what I'm saying? Like immediately. And I was like, "That's scary. I'm gonna take that as a sign to not do that." So I backed up. I was like, "Fuck it. Maybe it's just like too sugary or something, right?"
Yeah.
I go in. I have another. This is like days have passed. I have a show in Shanghai, and I'm in this really really seedy bar, which is under a mine. I believe it was a World of Warcraft gold mining like cafe.
Whoa.
So there was a gold mining cafe, and then the fucking bar we were playing at, which was fucking weird. It was weird as hell.
That's kind of lit though.
It was really cool. It was really like it reminded me of New York. It was really cool. But when we were there, remember what I was saying again? We got really clapped.
This is the next day, a few days later when
right.
you were at this place.
Right. Sorry,
in relation
guys.
to the Beatle
night. This guy just randomly pops in, like a person wants to see the show. He goes, "Yo, I got Beatle Nut. You want one?" I was like, "Oh shit, I've had that before. Yeah, let me get it." This one looked diabolical though. It was wrapped individually with some kind of crazy like lettering in Chinese. I was kind of like, "Thanks, man." So then I grabbed it, and instead of eating it, I was like, "Let me show my friend." I was like, "Hey, bro, like, does this look good?" And he was like, "Where'd you get that?" And I was like, "Some guy gave it to me." He goes, "Yo, don't eat that. Like, don't eat that." And I was like, "What?" They didn't want to tell me what it was about, so I went the rest of the tour not knowing what the fuck that was about. So I was like, you know what? Fuck it, whatever, right? It wasn't a big deal. I had crazy shit happen to me. I go back to New York City, right? After I had my 16 day stint in China. We were all over China. I come back. I started to look up Beetle Nut. I'm like, where can I find Beetle Nut? Maybe just like in Chinatown, right? Beetle Nut. Schedule 1 drug.
Oh,
I was like,
shit.
what the fuck are you talking about? So then I look it up, and the high is similar to a cocaine high. You're really fucking sharp. I had energy for fucking days. I wanted to run miles, dog. Everything was super sharp. I saw everything. I was like, oh my God, I was high. And the worst part, I was straight edge. So I didn't know.
You were doing Chinese cocaine
I was doing
and not even knowing?
Chinese cocaine, dog. That's crazy. That's how I broke edge. That's crazy.
Bro, yo.
That's wild. Yo, shout out China, dog, for real.
That's
God
crazy.
bless my shit, because that shit was fun. But it was just weird.
Is it legal there?
No. Well, no. Because there's a fucking huge spitting epidemic over there.
A spitting epidemic?
Yeah, it makes your gums really red and your teeth really red. So people just start spitting because they're chewing on it all the time. Like, you can look it up. It's called red mouth. And, like, their teeth get all fucking red and disgusting. And
sounds like a pirate name.
You look at it and you're like, this guy's a fucking pirate. It looks like someone punched you in the fucking mouth. That's what it looks like.
Oh, shit.
It looks crazy. And, like, everyone, it's, like, really bad. In Taiwan, it's worse. Apparently, like, people spit there all the time. You get fined for spitting over there.
Dang.
That's how bad it is.
Arg, there comes old red mouth. Just pulling a damn.
Like,
I hope I don't get in trouble. But anyways, we out here. We Lydian this. That's crazy though.
Bro.
Your first, you haven't toured since then?
I haven't toured since then, just because like after we had came back from China, we played a couple more shows, and then like I was getting really involved with my martial arts at the time. I was getting into Wing Chun. So I got like, I kind of like going to China like sparked it, and I was kind of like, I need to take something back with me, and I was like, I basically was like, I need to go into martial arts. I need to focus on this shit.
So you could fight the dude from Shang-Chi is what you're telling me.
Nah, he would whoop my fucking ass, dog. Yo.
Is that what you telling me?
He
right
would
now,
whoop
bro?
my ass. My seafood will be like, yo, you are not allowed back here. No way. I've been doing this. I've only been doing this for 6 years, and I'm only in the second form of Wing Chun, and there's 5.
Yo.
Shout out Gotham Martial Arts. That's some. Shout out Kwok Sifu. Thank you. But yeah,
Hey.
but yeah, no, he would totally. Absolutely. I would just like would want to watch from far. Like, I would want to see how I'd figure out how to avoid that kick from far away. I don't want to see it. But yeah, I was getting to Wing Chun, and like it was kind of like there's this thing you can't serve 2 masters. There's just no such thing. You can't serve 2 masters. So I had to like
you can't serve 2 masters.
You can't serve 2 masters. You can't put the same amount of attention you put into music. Well, for me, it was working that way. I couldn't put the same amount of energy I was putting into music into my martial arts. It was one or the other, because I needed more days to be at the school to work on my shit, but I also needed more days to be at the studio to work on my shit. So at that point, I had to make a decision. I made a decision to take a hiatus from music and then focus on me. Did my martial arts, and then I kind of got back into music, kind of like weird. I wanted to get back in and kind of do some like start up a band again. Like I wanted to do like a super group, like get a bunch of like people from the scene and just create one big super group. I already had the name. I was gonna call it Lagrimas and all that shit. So if y'all want it, y'all can take it. It's a cool name.
Yeah. Or we could you could look at a couple of the Last of Us members, and we could maybe form some of the super
that's
group
manifestation. If I didn't hear it, just know
maybe,
that right there.
Maybe we could. I was thinking about and I'm gonna keep this in too, even though it's spoilers. I was thinking about like looking at if I could get funding for like a show for one of my own solo shows,
Oh,
flying my old drummer out. Like if I could get a venue to be like,
oh.
oh, like if a venue's like, yo, we'll give you like so and so $100 for a guarantee, I'd probably just use some of it and be like, yo, would
I'm
you
with
play?
It. I'm with it. That's
Would you
such
play?
a great idea.
Would you play?
That's a great idea. Hell yeah.
Damn.
But yeah, but yeah, the two masters thing. Like you know, sometimes it sounds ignorant, but like I really feel like when you really want to work on something that's like really impactful, you have to really put your intention to it. So like it happened with my piercing. Eventually, I put Wing Chun on a hold for a second to focus on my piercing. Now that my piercing is kind of where I want to be, I'm kind of going back to my Wing Chun. I'm working on that now. But yeah, like China was the best and worst thing that happened to the band. It gave us one of the best stories I think of in my life, but it broke up the band in the same time.
Dang.
Yeah, I was one of the last founding members, and I was like, I'm calling it quits. And they were like, what? And I was like, yeah, I'm out, bro. I can't do it. Like my mental health, I can't do it. Like it felt like work. You know, when you're making music, it feels like work. Like it's just not fun.
Promoting music feels like work to me.
Ugh.
Making music will never, ever, ever feel like work to me ever in my life.
Amen.
But like,
Amen.
yo, promoting music always.
Yeah,
feels
because like, how do you like? Hey, you want to listen to my new track? So my name is Duskvll. Can you listen to my chart?
Oh
What?
my
Can you hear me
God.
louder?
Can you hear me?
But I hate that. I do hate the fact that like you had to like low key kind of grovel. Like, hey, do you want to check out my album? Hey, check out my album. It's kind of like I want you to do it yourself. I want you to find it. But like that's not the reality we live in. I'm not Kanye. I can't just drop shit like that.
I just want somebody to give me give me the opportunity, put me on stages. I'll play shows every night and I'll get paid. I will not get paid to play shows as often as possible if that means like I'm just gonna be getting in front of like more people and more people and more people. But like obviously, ideally, I want to make my show money, right?
Right.
But like if that's what I got to do to get people to Spotify, I'd rather do that than like fucking post every day. Like
Honestly,
you know what I mean?
dog,
Like on some shit. Like you know what I mean? Like, and I respect the fuck out of all my friends and family who do that already because like that's really the grind right now. Like that's like the way that you're supposed to do it right now. But like if there was another way, I would be doing that.
Oh yeah,
I would
trust,
be doing that.
If I can
I would
find a faster way
OD.
to do this shit,
Yeah.
I would. But it really is just like it's just crazy. Like I've learned making like a pre-save campaign for my like the new album coming out. Like having these genuine connections really do come. They play a part in these things, right? And it's like oftentimes like we want to have like, oh, like check out my stuff, and like oftentimes like if someone hits me up with some shit, like check out my album, and I'm like, cool. You didn't ask me how my day was. You don't know who I am. You're just throwing shit at me. So why the fuck should I check it out? So I feel that way too. So sometimes I try to be like a little more mindful of that. Like I may not hit you up separately, but I may make a post so everyone can see it.
Yeah.
Or what I'll do is I'll make it in a format where it's like, I guess to talk business is easily ingestible. Like I would want the content to be very easy to kind of ingest. So you're kind of like, oh, that wasn't kind of like too bad. This is normal content I normally see. So which is why I like shout out to Lil Nas X because he is a fucking genius to this shit. Using memes for promotion is fucking genius, dog. Genius. And I still talk about it because it's like you're just making memes for free. And then people are retweeting it because it's fucking funny.
And then
like,
people are
what?
clicking on the Spotify link.
And then
right
yeah,
after.
and then he gets like, whoa. And so I was like, all right, let me try this shit. And I did it on TikTok and it's been working and I've gotten like plays and I'm like, whoa, this shit has credibility to it. We are in a time where people relate more to humor. And this is a time where you have to like really just like make people laugh. Like people want to feel like relatable. They want their artists to feel relatable. Like, don't get me wrong, I'll listen to like all these rappers and shit like that, but I ain't pop no perk, I ain't pop no Molly, none of that shit, right? None of that shit. But like, if I have someone who finds like the SpongeBob meme funny, then I'm like, okay, this is a goofball. Like I fuck with him. You know what I'm saying? Like Ski Mask, for instance, right? I know for a fact my man's an edgelord. I know my fact he loves anime, he loves memes. So I know for a fact I can relate to that. So I can listen to his music and be like, this is a someone like me, like rapping about shit. That's dope. When we have rappers like rest in peace Pop Smoke, for instance, who lived that hard life, I fuck with him. I feel everything. I feel everything he has gone through. But I can't
relate,
really say. I can't speak on it. I can just be like, yo, you went through that, and that's tough, and then, you know, it is what it is. But I can't be like, oh, I've been there, because I've never been there. Never. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah.
Never. Bro, I mean, yeah, that's how I feel about it sometimes. worked with this dude at this restaurant one time who was friends with Sleepy Hollow,
Oh shit.
and
Dope.
he's like, yo, I want to bring you around, but I actually don't want to bring you around at the same time. And I was like, why? I would
Why?
love that. That would be cool. And he's
Yeah.
like, yo, because he's really about that life, and I see it in your face. I feel like that would scare you. And I'm like,
Yeah.
thank you.
That motherfucker is about that shit.
I was
dog,
like,
for
thank
real,
you.
for
I'm
real, dog.
good. I'm not trying to be in the middle of any type of altercation.
I ain't made a no mix and none of
like,
that shit. Nah,
yeah,
like,
like-
once I started seeing like when I started hearing about the story about Pharrell, do you know like the story about Pharrell and Drop It Like It's Hot?
No.
Okay, so Pharrell was out here making the hits and shit like that, and then
Hits.
Drop It Like It's Hot, right? Was created when Snoop Dogg pulled up with a bunch of Crips and went to the studio. Was like, yo, you gonna make me a track and it's gonna be a hit, right? And he was like, what? And he's like, yeah, like we gonna do this. So he said like there was just a bunch of just Crips just hanging out
Yeah.
making this track. Yo, you gonna do this for Snoop, right? Yo, you can hook
Yeah.
up Snoop, right? Like that's
Yeah.
when I hear about that shit, I'm like, whoa, those are people about that life. I do not even want to work in that type of environment. But listen, that song is heat,
Yeah.
fire. Maybe the fear put God in his heart to fucking rate that track. But like, there's something about that track and the way it flows so well between those two rappers. It's just like, who knew intimidation was the missing key, right?
Intimidation.
The color blue.
I think like blue is a scary color. It could be a scary color, but for real, that's such an interesting story.
Yeah, Joe.
What? I'm still like I didn't react like knee jerk to that because like I'm just thinking about like what that situation would be like if I was just sitting in here and then like mad gang members pulled up like at the same time, but just like obviously repping and stuff and like just
Right.
being intimidating and
Right,
shit.
right.
Like I'd be like, yo.
Yeah, I'm like,
Inside, in
stop.
my head, I'd be like, "Yo."
Word, like I was raised on Burnside, and like I'm not about that life. I've been around people who have been about that
Yeah.
life. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I can hang with y'all for about 15 minutes, and after that, I'm like, all right. So the next beat is
Yeah.
like I'm like
The more you talk about this
I'm
stuff
like,
that you're
"Yeah,
actively
bro."
engaged in, that can potentially land you in jail,
That's
and I'm
the
overhearing
shit.
it. I don't want to I don't want to hear any of that.
That's the shit.
I want to hear any of that.
That's what
I'm not
saying.
involved. I don't want any of the information. I don't want
It's
I don't want to know
like-
who you beat up. Like I
Yeah.
don't care. Like,
It's what's
I don't-
happening right now with the drill movement in like New York City. This shit's becoming like a fucking indictment role because like these guys are about the life. So when you thinking about being about the life, you're gonna get clipped because you being about that life. Like
Yeah.
it's just happening left and right. Like for instance, like we got like was it Coast to Ghost right now is in jail, and like you know he's just about that fucking life. You know what I'm saying? When you telling people that you out here smoking people on record, at that point, like first of all, either you are a liar who is like just does not give a fuck about his life, or
That
you
was a
about,
lie.
or you about it, and he
Yeah.
about it. So
Mhm.
like whenever I hear any rap, like I've learned, especially like with rappers like in the emo rap scene, being really depressed, I was thinking like, oh, they're just singing about being depressed. I'm like, no, these people are actually depressed.
Yeah.
So I'm like, so Pop Smoke is actually singing about smoking people, and you know what I'm saying? Like
Mhm.
it hits a different type of magnitude, and that's where I'm kind of like, oh, whoa, this environment's definitely something I'm not sure I would want to be around because
Yeah.
that's real shit.
Yeah, man. I luckily, thankfully, and I'm very, very thankful this like have not had to struggle or be like forced into that situation where I'm living a life like that.
Knock on wood.
But like, bro, like I just can't. Yo, I can't. I know I'm too soft. I know I'm too soft. Fuck.
But that's the best part because like the hood got like a small place for those people. They're like, yo, he's soft, but he respects us, so we won't keep him close. He be alright. I've
Yeah.
definitely seen that a lot. That happened to me when I was like, I'm the runt of like my block, so I felt like I was the shortest one. I always felt like being on the tall dudes. I was like, cool, like I'm with the tough guys.
We're hood adjacent, as they
hood
say.
adjacent.
We're hood
Yeah.
adjacent.
Oh, that's good.
I've heard it somewhere. I
That's
didn't make it up.
really good. Well, either way, it's good nonetheless. Shout out to whoever created that shit.
Yeah,
Hell
hood
yeah.
adjacent.
Hood adjacent.
We grew up hood adjacent in these parts.
I grew up in the hood, but away from the crazy shit.
Yeah,
Just
like
across the street from it.
yeah, across the street from around the corner,
Around
from
the
crazy
corner,
shit.
away from the other bodega, the one that we
Yeah.
don't go to.
Yo, how has before we get into the end here, how has your beliefs in La Santa Muerte influenced your beliefs in other things like UFOs? Cause I'm about this alien shit, bro.
Oh, bro.
We about this alien lifetime. We bringing it back, bro.
She
Angry
take
Barista.
all life. So yeah, aliens exist, dog. If aliens can die, they exist. There's aliens, bro. There's aliens. There's aliens.
right.
Definitely for sure. How far are we going in here? Because I'm really big on that shit too. I love aliens. I love the universe. The fact that if we go too far out into the universe, we get stuck in space because it's constantly expanding. We're not going fast enough.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
crazy.
Okay. All right. We can go far. We can
Yeah?
go pretty deep.
Oh, okay.
Deep. I would call myself a ufologist.
UFologist.
I'll call
So
myself a ufologist.
so you believe that they're definitely real. We definitely
Yeah.
believe that UFOs are real. We definitely believe that aliens are real. That's the simplest fact.
Mhm.
And then what is another thing about you that is gonna set you apart from everyone else? Oh, you probably just watch a lot of videos and you probably have like that inside information that I probably don't be knowing, right?
Yep.
Yeah. See, I can't. I'm me with ghosts.
Oh yeah. I
So
love
I
the
like you guys
concept.
because
Yeah.
y'all teach me a lot of shit. I
Yeah.
love space, but I don't know too much about extraterrestrial life, and
You
I love to
know-
learn about
You
it.
know what's super crazy?
Hmm.
Most UFO sightings that have some type of physical component where like somebody feels something or like
Yeah,
there's
yeah.
like a feeling or whatever.
Yeah.
There's also some type of paranormal incident that happens. Like
Right.
Yeah.
That's why I like them. They're
Yeah.
so connected. There's like, for instance, people will be like an abduction, right? For
Yeah.
instance, but then we talk about the white owls and then like the shadow people that come before and after the fact, and it's kind
Yeah.
of like, whoa, are they connected? Is there something that we're not talking about here? It's
Yeah.
like my theory behind that is like, if we have so much activity, like so much energy where things are not supposed to be happening, it just attracts it. It's just, if I'm a dude that likes parties, I'm gonna go to a party. So I feel like if the UFO is doing his thing, and then I don't know, some shadow people in the corner walking about, hey, let's go check that out. I feel like it's an energy thing. If
Yeah.
you're there, you're gonna get pulled to it.
I am starting to be of the belief that I think it's like inextricably tied. I think like, and my fiance called me crazy for this, but like I think that there's an element of UFOs and shit like that's tied to consciousness, like in some way. You know what I mean? Like, because
Interesting.
people like when people be seeing UFOs and like I'm talking specifically now about like military sightings and documented shit. Like,
Sure.
because our government admitted UFOs were real like last year.
Yeah, like they had released this whole shit, right?
Yeah, well, actually, like 4 years ago at this point, they admitted there was a piece in the New York Times that revealed that there was a secret Pentagon program studying UFOs for like 20 years, and they used like $20 million of taxpayer budget, and nobody knew.
Of course we
Nobody
did.
knew
That's
about
all that shit is dark money.
Yeah, but some of the videos that were leaked from that program, it's like not a lot of people saw the thing, but like mad things picked it up. There was mad evidence of it. Like it was on radar. It was on
really.
yeah. It was on. Not only was it on radar, they saw it on the fighter jet like cameras and shit. The infrared. It was recorded in the infrared. And there were there was a fleet of UFOs seen in this one. The Nimitz Incident was the most famous one. I think that they wanted to be seen. Like anytime like there's like a UFO, like a confirmed UFO video or whatever, like it's very intentional and it looks fake sometimes. It straight up looks like
it does.
people want to debunk it. People want to say like, oh, that shit's not real. But like, it's like, I think they know whether it's like an intelligent thing or not. Like, I think they know when they're being watched or whatever, or when they're being recorded.
Yeah. I definitely think that like they are. I think they're intelligent. I think they're probably more intelligent than we are, and I think they're definitely more technologically advanced because we've seen like cloaking devices on UFOs. We've seen like basically like light speed. We've seen all of that. So like why would something as trivial as a fucking camera like go under their radar?
Yeah.
Like, at this point, they're probably like, yo, like we're here.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like I definitely think aliens have definitely given us more than enough chance to let us know like, hey, we're here. Like we're watching you. Like it's not the other way around. I definitely think they're watching us.
Honestly, I want some answers. I want some evidence. I want like to be able to rub in the faces of the people who don't believe as hard as I do that these schmalians be out here.
Oh, they really be out here.
They be out here. I want to rub it in their face. I want to be like, look, pay attention. This is actually important.
Bro, they be spinning intergalactic blocks out here, bro. There is aliens. I definitely 100% believe it. And when it's time, how are we going to meet them? I'm sure, which by the way, I'm pretty sure most aliens are very peaceful. I
Mhm.
think we're the fucking like problem. I
Yeah.
think they come in here and they try to do some shit, and then
Yeah.
we're just assholes, and then they come back and do some other shit to us, and we just kind of go back and forth. I
Oh
feel.
yeah, we got a deep dive. I've got a pretty crazy theory that I might make a bonus segment or some shit, but I might just tell you off camera.
Sure.
We'll circle back around. We'll circle
Sounds
back around
good.
about whether they're good intentioned or not. Sheesh, bro, George, I've been having fun. This is like a
yeah,
good
that was
conversation.
great.
I'm glad I'm like we got to know each other in this format because this gives me like I'm pretty like scatterbrained and scattered attention. So
sure.
like whenever I'm doing this, it gives me a thing to focus on. And I feel
Nice.
like I can actually have like a fucking developed ass conversation with
Right.
somebody.
This
so.
felt fun. I kind of like low key forgot that we were like, doing this. Like, there were moments I'm like kind of talking. I'm like, wow, like I'm having a good conversation with my pal here. And I look over, I'm like, oh shit, there's a camera. Got it.
Yeah,
Cool.
yep.
Awesome.
That's the intention. It doesn't happen all the time, but you know what? The best part about doing this is I
Mhm.
learned some fire shit about cool people.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, I've learned some cool stuff about you. Like, so this is a great way to learn information and become friends, guys. Podcast. And this is my first one.
Oh
I've
shit!
never done this. No.
Whoa, you're a good first podcast.
Stop
guest, bro.
playing. Nah,
Yo,
for real?
This is
You
first
heard
podcast,
that? You
bro.
heard that? You said it first
This
time.
is
It was
first
good.
podcast. This, bro, it's like, you should start a podcast.
Yo, y'all need to stop playing with me.
Yeah.
Cause I'll dead ass do that. I don't know what the topic would be, but when I figure that out, I gotcha.
Yo,
That sounds like
honestly,
fun.
we got the space, we got the facilities here. I would love to talk some ideas for it. And
Sounds
with that
dope.
being said, Mr. George, Mr. Duskvll, you got a project coming out. How many days again?
7 days.
A week.
A week. It's gonna be on Spotify. It's gonna be on Apple Music. It's gonna be on pretty much everything. Tidal too. If y'all use Tidal, I don't know who uses Tidal, but
Yo, honestly, audio files.
yeah, it's on everything.
Yeah.
And if it isn't, let me know and I'll put it there for you. I have no
Yay.
problem.
All right. Well, bro, is there anything else you want people to know?
Um,
Instagram.
Yeah. Follow me on Instagram. Follow me on everything. My handle's always gonna be the same. It's always gonna be Duskvll. Duskvll like the Pokemon, but the U is a V. So DUSK. You can just put it down here. I'm sure.
Instagram, TikTok.
Instagram, TikTok, all of it's the same. All of it's the same. On my TikTok, I make really fun videos and kind of incorporate music and my religion.
Mhm.
Instagram's more of like kind of like what's going on the inside, and Twitter is where I kind of like actually interact with producers. So if you're actually a producer or beat maker, I say TikTok, or not TikTok, but Twitter is actually the best way to get in contact. I'm always trying to make new
Let's go.
tracks and like hang out because like, like I feel like I'm the only lo-fi artist out here in New York City. I'm trying to make some pals. So like, what's goody? Like, you know what I'm saying?
We out here. We'll get plugged in. We'll
Hell yeah,
elaborate
hell
on the
yeah.
network. All right. Well, if that's all we got, that's all we got. I
That's all
kind of
we
want to
got.
hear some. Coming up next, we got some reviews from the boys.
Oh.
So with that being said, stay angry or not. Peace.
Peace.